if we can stick to a thought for seconds, we are going to feel that type of vibrations.
Yes, it builds up. So, from an energetic person, you're an energetic person. If you start resonating with happiness, this is why
Yeah.
gratitude exercises are recommended by everybody.
Okay.
Everybody to
Yeah.
put you into a vibrational state of
Hmm.
I'm happy with what I have. So,
Right.
understand I have. And then build on that, and then you are attracting more of what you're happy with.
Hmm. Welcome back, guys. Welcome back to our show. And today I'm very happy. Today we are going to discuss about universal laws. And today it is very exciting topic because most of the people want to know very deeper things about like law of attraction, universal laws. And today in this in this podcast, we are going to go very deeper and deeper into a particular topic. So make sure to watch this till the end because if you are not going to watch it, you will be confused, and I don't want you to be confused. So here's we have Snehal with us. So Snehal, how are you? How are you doing?
Hello. Namaste, very welcome. Thank you for having me on your show. It's a pleasure to be here.
Yeah, thank you so much for joining today. And Snehal, let us start with with your introduction. Like, let the people know who you are. So can you please tell us about yourself?
Okay, as you know, I'm Snehal. I'm currently based in the Netherlands, but I was born and raised in Zimbabwe, in Harare. And I am working as a quantum coach, trainer and facilitator and mentor in the spiritual life coaching realm, a
Mhm.
mindset realm, as well as mentoring a mystic mentor. So I'm a mystic as well. And an author, a published author. So a little bit condensed, yes.
You mentioned you are an quantum coach.
Yes.
So yeah, tell us more about that. Like, can you please explain like what is that?
Brilliant. Yes, it's a little bit going a little bit outside the normal coaching realm in the sense of body mind mastery, which I call self mastery, going into self realization. So, using quantum mechanics, which is very much stitched into the universal laws and the principle of vibration, frequency, and resonance, and how to go past the mind and the conditioning to that level of very subtle understanding and intuitive knowing of vibrational and frequencies,
Hmm.
um, and developing that to an ability and a skill in order to create and manifest, of course, your desired reality. Moving further into the presence and the self realization realm, it not becomes more of an individual, but a collective manifestation. So that's the
Hmm.
quantum part of the coaching, but very much stitched into traditional mindset, cognitive behavior, all of that stitched into it, but from the perspective of the laws, which is more applicable in practical terms. Yeah, I hope that condensed it. It's a
Yeah,
huge
for
topic.
sure. For sure, for sure. Snehal, like as you told us about the mind body, like it is very important to understand about your mind, and that is what you are helping people with. But
Yeah.
the normal people, like the normal guys who are watching these videos, they don't understand that why they should learn about this thing, why this is important. So can you please tell us that why like person who is watching this video normally sitting in their home, they should understand about their mind, why this is important for them.
Yes. So definitely having consciousness rise within. It's a natural development as our body develops.
Right.
From so does our mind, and we've been conditioned a lot in our cultural and our global way of thinking is to develop the mind intellectually.
Yeah.
And now, in recent 20 years or 30 years, well, 10 years really, it's been exploding on how to develop our emotional intelligence and intuitive intelligence. So it's not always an intellectual left brain. thing, linear
Yeah.
and stuff, but to understand what's going on underneath the unseen. And in traditional coaching or traditional mindset or corporate understanding, they have that iceberg model, what you do see,
Yeah.
but there's so much below, which are our conditionings, our belief systems, as everybody knows, why things are done in the subconscious mind, why people can't break habits and patterns, or how to develop atomic habits and patterns or preferred
Mm.
habits and patterns. That's all out there in psychology, cognitive behavior, therapy. Um, but the more and more as the seeker of a spiritual nature or the seeker of beyond mind, beyond time, beyond space. As you reach a certain threshold in understanding, I can do my body breath work or yoga, or I can understand my mind having a good mindset, having focus, having affirmative wording or sentences, attitude, all of that. You come to a natural consciousness level, I suppose, where things start wanting to explore the unseen more and more. So,
Hmm.
why it's important is it depends on the person, really. What is it that's in the immediate life that needs attention to? And for those who are dwelling, contemplating, using meditations daily or have a practice,
Hmm.
naturally there will be gravitating to that. I think it's a natural outcome for deep contemplation and peace and serenity. What
Right.
is all of that about? So it's a beautiful, healthy, natural development of human consciousness.
Yeah.
And if anyone's interested, of course, they will dive into it. But why it's important, I think it's just important for the person, at the individual, at the level of their consciousness to
Right.
expand.
Right. And normal, like everybody should know about like the consciousness, because I think everything that we attract in our life, like recently we had just had a podcast with a very interesting podcast with Linda, and she told us that everything that is happening in your life, you are attracting all those things. Everything
Yes,
is, it can be positive, it can be negative, it can be
yes,
anything, but you are responsible for doing that, consciously or
beautiful.
subconsciously. Everything
Yes.
you are attracting. What do you think about that? Like, do you think like
This
we
is
attract
this is
each and everything?
absolutely proven fact for myself. Yes, it's a fundamental principle that the sooner you know it, the better your life will be.
Right.
Yes, full responsibility to understand we are energy, right? So
Right.
science is
Right.
meeting us here now that we are fundamental energy,
Hmm.
and energy has a certain vibration, a certain tone, a certain frequency. And as you calibrate that within yourself through the energy of a thought or an emotion in your body system,
Right.
you start vibrating at a certain thing. This
Hmm.
vibration, we live in a world of duality. So if you're
Hmm.
looking at it from a little bit of a scientific perspective, you have polar opposites. And
Hmm.
what a polar opposite does, it then starts creating a magnetic field.
Right.
Yes. So once you start learning to develop consciously, because you're doing it all the time, it's not like you're not doing it and you've learned a new skill. You're
Hmm.
always doing it.
Yeah.
But you just consciously aware, I am responsible for my vibrational state.
Hmm.
And this vibrational state then builds up a magnetism, and I will then, this is the law of resonance, which precedes the law of attraction. So we all talk about, it's out there, law of attraction and law of manifestation based on the law of attraction. But the law of resonance is what am I vibrating at now, which is the first principle.
Hmm.
Learning to be 100% aware, I'm vibrating this, and I will then attract to me the magnetic resonance to that, which is then the law of attraction. So I will attract to me exactly what matches my frequency. So the more
Right.
people become so consciously aware and responsible for the frequency they're emitting, um, by natural default, you will then start seeing the attraction of that frequency. And labeling it good or bad becomes a personal conditioning. So something could be, you might find something attractive to you, say, oh shit, I don't like it. The same thing could be good for somebody else. So then
Right.
it becomes a personal conditioning, a personal preference. We label it good or bad. The mechanics is neutral. It's not labeled good or bad. It's just the
Right.
mechanics of it. How we experience it is based on our own bias or our own sensitivities or our own preferences, really, on an individual plane. So yes, your speaker before, Linda, I completely am in resonance with her message. It is
What do you
one of
think
the
about
most,
the negative thing, like if there is any type of accident, if there is any type of like negative things happens in our life? So we never
yes,
thought about that. Like we never thought about that we are going to be accidented, or there will be a road accident. There is something very mishappening that is going to happen. So
yes,
like how we are attracting all those things.
yes. So some of the stuff, this is a quite high level question because people are like, oh, what is that crazy? I'll take, for example, I can only explain from my own experience.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
So, having gone through, for example, in my case, a lot of abuse, physical abuse, sexual abuse, verbal abuse, mental abuse, whatever abuse it was, that would be seen very negative in a victim mentality sort of thing. Having learned to track that, and when you're a child or younger, you're not really manifesting consciously or attracting consciously, right? So some of
Right.
that understanding, this is where my spiritual understanding started. It's like it could not be explained in the world, but
Mm.
I had to go out. um, One of the key things that was dawned upon me through just listening to others, circumstances always happen. It's
Yeah.
not like they're not going to happen. It's not what happens to you, it is how you handle or how you use what happens to you.
Right.
And the minute we say we label it as a negative, it's just because we would have preferred something else. You know, we would not have preferred an accident or a death or abuse or some sort of money loss or whatever. We would not have preferred it. But having had that, one of the first things, the mindset, the attitude changes. What is the gift in this that I presently cannot see? What is it that I'm learning that I can take or leverage forward from this situation? And it's
Mm.
a development tool. So if anything happens that is not desired through either your own action, you know, some people make mistakes, like, you know, I kind of did some stocks and it didn't work out, my own mistakes, or something happened to me, is to shift out of the victim mentality very quickly to say, all right, the circumstance happened, what can I gauge from it? So my take on all of this is starting to develop an attitude and a perspective on, no matter what happens, how can I leverage that to my benefit, no matter
Right.
what happens. So starting to start, the word I'm looking for is to dilute the hard and fast polarity of right, wrong, good, bad, just to start becoming a bit neutral and say, okay, this happened. You know, some people have accident. I have a very good friend who had an accident. She was living like a 200 mile an hour day, right? All over the place all the time. And then she had this accident, and of course, her whole world was like, what the da, da, da.
Mm.
But it's kind of a natural law to calm you down, slow you down. She took stock of her life. She sorted out priorities. She ended up spending so much more time with the children because she was bedridden for like 6 months. Um, and that just balanced. there's always an equilibrium and a balance in the universe. So to look at it that way, her life was going so fast, she couldn't even catch up with it, to be honest, that sometimes the universe intervenes and say, pause, calm
Hmm.
down. And if you look at it that way, what a gift it was to have that accident or to have that situation come into your life. So the attitude of gratitude of whatever it is, what can I learn from this? How can I leverage this to my benefit? Um,
Right. Right.
uh,
Amazing. Like I can understand that there is only three things that decided our life. Like there is three things. One is our thoughts. From our thoughts, it creates our frequency, the vibrations. From
yes,
the frequency, the vibrations we release, it creates our action. So everything starts with your thoughts. If your thoughts is not good, it is not positive, your frequency would be not positive. Is it correct?
yes, yes. So from a cognitive, behavioral, and a psychological, as you are in a body, your thoughts and your words and then
Mm-hmm.
your deeds should be in alignment, right? Because it always starts. So one would ask, how can I purify my thoughts? What
Yeah.
I would start with, what is before thought, right? But this is like the quantum place. But
Yeah.
for everybody, everyone can understand. My thoughts are always like churned, churned, churned. So it is a great step in self development to consciously identify what your thoughts are. Some people are unaware that they're thinking. It's in the subconscious mind that they have a certain belief or a certain thought that shows up in a behavior or an attitude, but they don't
Right.
realize that's the thought that's running in the background. So the first step is becoming conscious of your thoughts
Mm.
in a neutral, detached way. There's a law of detachment or law of non attachment where you become an observer. So if you start practicing certain contemplative or mind meditation, it's an observation exercise that you can employ to just observe the
Mm.
mind and the thoughts coming up. And of course, like you said, it stitches into then once your thoughts come up, they raise an emotion um, in your physical body or a sensation, the five senses we have. An emotion senses, whatever we grade it as, anger, frustration, happiness, joy, whatever.
Yeah.
It's just a sensation. And from that sensation, there's what's happening energetically is you starting to build up a magnetism of a frequency. So thought has a certain calibration of frequency. um, it matches with a physical, visceral experience of that. If you're having an anger thought, it builds up, and then the behavior comes out
Mm.
naturally. It's a default. Um, so one of the laws, which is primarily law of attraction, but
Yeah.
one Abraham Hicks, I'm sure your listeners and you have been exposed to Abraham Hicks, one of the proponents of secret and the law of attraction, definitely has a rule, which I've time and tested with my students, my meditation students, and definitely it is a truth in there, is if you hold a certain calibration or frequency of thought for 17 seconds or more, you attract the same vibrational thought again. And this is what people would experience as a spiral, either a positive spiral, like, I'm all
Mm.
motivated, or a negative spiral. So 17 seconds or more, if you hold on to that thought, you are building your resonance, your vibrational frequency and magnetism to that frequency. You will then
Okay.
attract more and more situations that you will then apply. For example, let's take anger because
Yeah.
everyone understands anger and
Yeah.
frustration. No matter what happens, you are looking through the glass of
Yes.
anger and frustration.
Yes.
And because everything then in your field, in your reality, I mean, the person sitting next to you might be happy,
Yeah.
They won't see it as a problem, but everything, because you're vibrating to that, you are perceiving through that vibration. So everything becomes anger. Or you meet somebody who then becomes angry at you. So there's anger, anger, da da da, you know.
Hmm.
So this is the mechanics. This is the quantum mechanics. This is the universal way of how we are creating reality. So, step one is understanding that rule in the universe, 17 seconds. It can be actually less because depending on how strong that thought is, it could be 10 seconds and you're in it, you know. It's learning to, if it's a negative thing, it's something that you want to not be in,
Yeah.
prefer not to be. Sometimes anger is healthy, okay? You don't have to suppress it. It's not a matter of suppressing, it's a matter of how can I shift myself out faster.
Okay.
And one of the rules is now that you know 17 seconds or more, I'm going to keep attracting this. How can I actively or consciously have a tool? There's many tools out there through hypnosis and NLP techniques, for those who are exposed to such things,
Yeah.
to get yourself out a little bit or
Right.
neutral. Sometimes you can't jump from anger to happy. You just,
Right.
it's ridiculous. Okay. You can jump
Right.
from anger to neutral. Yeah,
Hmm.
yeah, I'm all
Hmm.
right. And then from there,
Hmm.
you can build up to
Hmm.
something else. Yeah, I'm all right. I'm okay. You know. So it's kind of baby steps in the beginning, which needs a little bit of self-discipline, I must say, a little bit of effort till it becomes effortless. So in the beginning, you have to really focus and put some effort, but it doesn't, once you get it, you in the vibrational field, you can switch, you can pivot. How can I pivot? This is in the corporate world, how can you pivot and adjust to whatever's happening
Yeah.
fast without losing your cool, with just being calm and present and having insight and ability to see without being dragged into something. Yeah.
Hmm.
I hope that
Amazing,
explained it
amazing.
well.
Yeah, that explained very, very well. And that is amazing to understand about that 17 seconds thing. Like, this is seriously an eye opener. Like, if we can stick to a thought for 17 seconds, we are going to feel that type of vibrations.
Yes, it builds up. So, from an energetic person, you're an energetic person. If you start resonating with happiness, this is why
Yeah.
gratitude exercises are recommended by everybody.
Okay.
Everybody to
Yeah.
put you into a vibrational state of
Hmm.
I'm happy with what I have, to
Right.
understand I have, and then build on that, and then you are attracting more of what you're happy with.
Hmm.
I have. And
Right.
from the outside perspective, it's like, oh, she's earning more, she's got a better job, she's been able to do this, she's able to get more intellectual knowledge or education. But it's not, it's because she's attracting from a stable vibration of satisfaction. I'm
Right.
satisfied. I'm not in lack. I'm not in victim. I'm not in less. I have. So these are from an energetic person point of view, not from a personal point of view. This is the energy. Okay,
Right.
I want to, I wish to embody that. Not I want it in time and space, which is where
Hmm.
quantum, my coaching comes very much
Yeah.
because we cut the deferment of,
Hmm.
I don't defer my happiness to some other time in the future. You know, it's in the now, the practicing the law of now, right? Which is Eckhart Tolle. He wrote a book on this. Um, very popular. The law of now, presence, becoming presence, but in presence. And
Yeah.
once that get activated, it past and future. There's a natural healing happening from the past.
Hmm.
Past is if your thoughts are in the past, and if it wasn't a good past, or the experience was very negative for you, or you
Hmm.
just there's always good, but you're focused on the negative. Um, it starts. What you're doing in the present is you're projecting the future based on your past,
Yeah, yes. Yes.
and this is a habit, a conditioning that we must stop and break. So where do
Hmm.
we do that? In this now, in this now.
Right.
So one of the quantum mechanic tools is how can we do it in the present moment with presence? And once you stop projecting the past, which is suffering, projecting it into a future, which is anxiety and stress, because it hasn't happened yet, you're just thinking it's going to happen. That is one of the big tools in psychology, cognitive behavior, um, mental coaching, mindset coaching, as well as therapy, is to stop that cycle of projecting the past into the future, assumptions, and get into the now, get into the now, the present, where time and space is collapsed and everything's happening now, energetically.
Right.
Um,
Right.
yeah.
Amazing, amazing. So Snehal, like
Yeah.
as everything is now that what we are doing in
Yes.
present, that is very, very important. So, like as you have heard that your morning decide your day. If your morning is good, your day is good, everything is good. Every like you are obviously going to attract positive things. So, how is your morning routine, or like, do you recommend a morning that people should have a morning routine?
Yes.
Like, what was that? What are the tools and what are the hacks that you use that we want to
Yes.
recommend our viewers? Tell us about that.
Yes.
How to
Oh,
start
very
your day?
much so. First of all, I would highly recommend personalizing your own little routine, even if it's
Mm,
just putting on some music and getting it on.
yeah.
But I would highly recommend putting yourself in a mood, a feeling good mood, or a feeling empowered mood, whatever it is, with whatever tools you like. My personal ones are I wake up immediately, I listen to one of my spiritual masters' contemplation of the day.
Okay.
So it's early morning. I literally do it in the bed. So I get up. My phone's a bit far away from my bed, by the way, for electromagnetic things. So I go and get my phone and I said it's 30 minutes. It's only 30
Okay.
minutes.
Okay. Just
So
one thing. Should we keep our phone like not in the bed? Like,
yes,
does it affect?
I would, yes, I highly recommend all technology, because, like, it's still happening, like radio waves and how I'm talking to you. There's
Yeah.
unseen communication happening,
Right.
and it's energy and vector. I would recommend just switching off your TV half an hour before sleep, or your phone or your video, just for the stimulation of the eye and the blue screen, everything away from your sleeping quarter. Now, if you have a small bedroom, just go put your phone in the cupboard,
Hmm.
just not right next to you where you're sleeping, just not in your sleeping field. I do recommend that away. You'll find that it becomes calmer and sleep. Your sleep and your rest becomes pure and calmer. So
Hmm.
I definitely recommend it. I used to be addicted to my phone. Okay, I was in the corporate world many moons ago. I
Yeah.
worked for the UN, and I was attached to technology. So for me, it was very hard. But then I persevered in having an evening routine of decompressing and taking minimum. My first person recommended an hour before. That was a bit too much for me. So I started with half an hour before I went to sleep. I switched off
Hmm.
the TV, phone, and everything. Now I
Yeah.
can do actually an hour before. And I read. If I'm still
Yeah.
awake and my mind is going, I read a book with paper, something tangible, not on a screen.
Yeah.
Or I journal, or I color. I have a coloring book. I just
Okay.
color. Anything
Okay.
to activate your right side of your brain, the creative side. So reading, drawing. I don't listen to music because that involves a digital, some sort of item.
Yeah.
So I don't listen to that. And in the morning, I start with, some people start with prayers, some people, I just listen to a contemplation that empties me of my mind. Instead
What
of
is
doing
that?
all the
Like, do
deep,
you remember like some few lines that you want to say?
yes, it differs very much. I'm in a very senior position of where I can empty like this. In the beginning, I'll start from the beginning. For beginners, possibly listening to tones. So YouTube has in so many video musics.
Yeah.
If you are listening to tones, one of the things I started doing, maybe this will help, is aligning your chakra system, but not
Mm-hmm.
through chanting and words, listening to the tones of those chakra systems. And so many brothers and sisters out there have created beautiful music, beta, theta, and delta music, to just align the energetic field system through sound. Everything is sound. If you feel you like to chant,
Yeah.
chanting lam, hum, sam, the mantras for
Mm.
the chakra system already puts you in a very, I don't know, homostasis zen
Yeah.
state.
Yeah.
It doesn't make you not think. So if you have to have a big day ahead, you can do that. There's also meditations out there that project your day the way you would like to. Yeah.
Mm.
So there's starts with gratitude. There's Vishen's 6 phase meditation is something
Yeah.
that I also taught. But there's so many. Unfortunately, there's too much material out there.
Mm.
So if you're spoiled for choice, I would recommend try one, and try one for minimum 21 days. Give it a go.
Okay.
If it
Okay.
doesn't sit with you, try another one,
How to
because
identify it is sitting with us or not?
is having patience, because every unfortunately we're very much in the instant
Yeah.
experience mode, right? We want
Yeah.
it right here, right now. I want to be out of it. Um,
Yeah.
just relaxing that expectation.
Mm.
Like anything you want to master, you have to cultivate the practice. If
Mm.
you are willing to cultivate a practice to have mastery over your mind and emotion,
Yeah.
then try it. Try for, I would say this is numerological, but odd days, 3 days in a row. If it works, if it's happy, if you want to continue, try till 7 days,
Okay.
and then build up that practice. If it doesn't work the first time, don't give up.
Okay. Mm.
So minimum 3 days. I have to try this 3 days, and it might mean 3 times a day, morning, afternoon, evening, 10
Mm.
minutes. Not 1 hour sitting like a monk. No, 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 no. 10 minutes. When I was in the corporate world and I started this practice, I would go to the ladies' toilet and I would sit and I would do my 10 minutes. Then I
Okay.
would come out. So no matter where you are, you have 10 minutes, right? I
Hmm.
used to be a smoker. I no longer am. I used to take my smoke break 10 minutes and I used to listen. In those days, I was very much drawn to listening to tones because it was doing something with my brain chemistry. So I was, instead of thinking, I was allowing my brain, because I had a very mental activity brain. So I would take pauses throughout the day to
Hmm.
listen to tones, to calm the mental vibration. So don't give up. I would say if you're going to commit, commit to yourself, and know practice leads to mastery. If you want to master something, practice. Yeah.
Okay. So first, when we get up, we have to like listen to music, or like in terms of you, like you are having a 30 minutes recorded
I
thing
have,
that you
yes,
listen to that, and
yes.
then what is the next step? Like, tell us about
The next
your routine. Like, how does it look like?
Yes, so the next step is get up and life happens, right? Do the chores you have to do, people you have to take care of, prepare your day, prepare your breakfast. I prepare my breakfast. I have a very, like smoothies or whatever, very traditional, not traditional. I have a very uh, weird diet, but I have to prepare for all of that. So just go into preparation, having come from a mode of watching your thoughts are neutral. So not in
Hmm.
panic or stuff. Yeah. Shower, change. If you're a morning person, shower. I'm an evening person, shower. It's just to start doing activities based out of the vibration that you woke up in. Now, it's important, this is a cycle. We live in a cycle, in a spiritual
Right.
cycle, a
Right.
day cycle. When you go to sleep and you have a good sleep, some people don't have such good sleeps, but if you have a good sleep, it's neutral.
Hmm.
So if you went to bed angry, you will wake up angry because
Right.
there's a gap, right?
Right. Hmm.
So morning routine is very good. As important, if not more important, to be honest, is your
Hmm.
evening routine. How you end your day must
Right.
be neutral or high because what you pick up the next morning is exactly where you left off. So I would recommend if you left off good, it will be easier in the morning to stay in that same vibration as you went to bed with.
Makes sense.
Um,
Makes sense.
and just by music, I mean, if some people, my husband's very much a music person. He wakes up, he would rather, instead of talking, he would
Hmm.
rather listen to some really good beats and it gets him in a good mood. And then he does his coffee and whatever and goes to the mood. And then he starts thinking about the day. If you wake up already thinking about your agenda,
Yeah.
I would I would have a little chat with you, right? I would have a chat with you. It's not a problem, but it's not sustainable. You see,
Okay.
you'll have a burnout, you'll have a crash. So how can you sustain throughout your busy 24-hour day? How can you sustain and maintain some equilibrium in your presence and in your intellect, in your thinking ability and your emotional ability to not feel drained? People
Hmm.
are, and then the habits start. The problem, is eating sugar to keep the energy up, and oh my God, yeah, then the cycle begins. You know what I mean? Yeah,
Right.
but
Right. Right.
just make it easy and smooth and not rushed. That's the thing. People wake up and they're on the go immediately. Go, 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 go. Is how can I introduce a little bit of pause in the morning and pause in the afternoon and if
Hmm.
possible during the day, midday sometime. I
Got
hope
it.
that
Got it.
helps. Yeah.
100%, 100%. This is very helpful because the first thing, most of the people who are into corporate industry, who are working somewhere, they have their mobile phone attached with their pillow and below the pillow, and
Yes.
they have a
I
laptop or
so
something.
I do resonate with those people. I was one of them,
Yeah.
so I have full humble understanding and experience. And I was one of those who would sleep in the bed, get up, jump out, run out the door to catch my transport. It was 1.5 hour commuting. So if you are a person who commutes long distances, take this as a beautiful opportunity on the train. If you're driving, you can't so much because you have to pay attention to the road. But if you're in a train or a bus, this is your opportunity. Listen,
Hmm.
relax, chill. Don't be, there's chaos around you, but you be shanti. I'm
Right.
using an Indian word here, but yes,
Yeah.
most of my
Peace.
European colleagues now understand shanti. I was like, just shanti, like relax.
Yeah. Amazing, amazing. And this is very important for all of the people because, like, in today's world, it is so much of things going on at a single time. Like I have seen most of the people just have their mobile phone below the pillow and have their
Yes.
laptop,
Oh,
and the
yes,
laptop is just typing there, and when they wake up they just have the phone and just check their WhatsApp, like what are the messages that is going up. There is a
exactly.
message from your boss, from colleagues, come soon, these and that, and they start their day with a very messy routine. So
Yes,
today the things that you mentioned to stay calm and sustain everything, because see, this is the same cycle that is going to repeat. So we have to
yes.
sustain ourselves, and this is very important for our viewers and for me as well. I'm also going to like implement a lot of things from
Oh,
you.
bless.
Thank you so much, like this was amazing.
This is amazing. And to know that to not get into a cycle and a spiral is just to have some pausing moments. If you can
Yeah.
increase a pause during the day, no matter what, because I can understand life is happening all around us all the time. Some people have a good day, some people have a chaotic manic day based on it.
Right.
But I'm pleasantly encouraged to hear, Chetan, that you've been absorbing. I've been watching you, and you've been absorbing this information. And I, yes, try it. If you don't, you don't know until you try some of these things. So,
Right,
oh,
right. I will
you must
try for
enjoy it.
sure. Thank you so much, Snehal. Thank you so much for
You're welcome,
sharing a
Chetan.
lot of things with me, with my viewers. And I'm very happy to have you in our show. This podcast was amazing. I learned a lot of things from you. Any last advice or anything you would love to share our audience? And you can also, like, I'm going to share all the links in description so that like guys
Yes,
can connect with you, have a conversation with you, have a
yes,
consultation with you. And
yes.
like, would you like to share something, any advice
Well,
with our audience?
something wise. I think it's the wise is there is you know, there's so many miracles out there, and you are one. And to lean into the just to take moments, I think. I know it's very cliche, but the power of it is so amazing. Very cliche to just look at something out in the world or within yourself and be grateful for it. And that will have waves of consciousness rising much faster than to sit
Right.
and study
Hmm.
the experience of gratitude instead of intellectual understanding of gratitude. That's one thing I would love to leave something with your viewers. And thank you for sharing my links. Yes, I have two books which are amazing.
Yeah.
Conquer Your Circumstances, which is the first one, like must. And then
Yeah.
the other one for the corporate people out there is Global Conscious Entrepreneurs. And this
Amazing.
is these are two books which are on my website. And of course, there's a free 30-minute or 45-minute discovery call. So
Yeah.
contact me, have a chat. Let's see what we can do for each other. And I love what you are doing, Chetan, and your team behind you. Thank you so much for having these type of topics out there for people to just, take bite-sized information and then chew on it. Yeah.
Thank you so much for joining. Thank you so much. So guys, make sure to connect with her. I'm going to share all the links in description. You can go through her website. You can book a call with her. You can go and check her LinkedIn or social media. So
Yes.
I'm going to share all the links in description. Make sure to watch that, and make sure to subscribe this channel so that we can have more and more podcasts like this.
Yes.
Thank you so much, guys.
Brilliant.
Bye bye.
Thank
See you
you.
soon.